Okay, good evening. It's Saturday. I kind of behind on all my readings here in my room. Hopefully going to top up here and get into the weekend. We're already in the weekend energy, but this is going to be masculine and feminine for the week. So I'm going to get started. Starting out with the feminine energies. Okay. So here we go. See what's up with the masculine and feminine this week. Hopefully this will help you get into or underneath some issues, whatnot. If we can't deal, I got a love card and a power of surrender card to help you get through any obstacles that may come up here. So first card, general energies for the feminine. 53. Gateways. What am I doing here? Okay. Sorry. Changing. I thought I changed everything back in a good way, but I didn't. Okay, so gateways. This card is usually for me talks to, why is it crooked? My camera. Anyway, this energy talks to me about things opening up to people, right? So we're talking about the feminine. So there may be opportunities opening up in the dating scenario. We may have some female feminines that are getting their fingers spread here in different directions, right? Going in different directions, things opening up, or at least opportunity to think of things opening up in such a way, right? Gateways, that's what I get with that card. Next card. Faith. So we may have faith in this. I'm picking up heavily on some singles here that are really wanting things to open up. I feel like it's naturally a process that's there for them to do this. But also, give me a minute here. There's a lot of fire coming from this card. That red hair, hers talking about the passion and the action-oriented way. Like this woman is trying to, and this card is about faith. She's got all these crosses, right? So the sense is I'm going forward, fiery, looking for a partner is really what I'm getting from this. Yeah. And she's got, her sword of truth there's kind of veiled in the background there. But, and her faith, right? Her sword is in her behind her back and her faith is in her pocket. That's what they're saying. So she's going to charge forward looking for a partner and having faith that this is going to open up for her, if not opening up for her already. Okay. So the next card we have is authenticity. So these are not bad cards. A little aggressive with the red here. But authenticity talks about that inner being that she wants to come forth with. I feel like she's going to take the time to make sure she's authentic, if not looking for that in a partner outside of her, right? Things are starting to open up for her. She's going outward quite. The sense I'm getting is that it's internally aggressively. So it's not so externally aggressive, like we're not going out and, grabbing men and pulling them back to our cave kind of thing. But there's an inner sense of being aggressive energetically, though it may not be prominent physically. So I feel like authenticity is the way that she's going to go about solidifying these things. I feel like she's got a lot of wisdom behind her. They're going this time, right? So we may have had we may have had energy in the past that we came from. And I'm not just talking about last week, but past relationships. They're showing me these ties these women had, but I'm going to get to it. Past energy of maybe not, doing things different and making a conscious effort to do things not like we did it before, right? Meaning different than we have done in the past, so that we get it right. And the key here is authenticity. I don't know that they were being not authentic, but I think they were coming from a different place of who they were. sense of excitement to a degree, jumping in real quick is a sense. Now, they're making me aware, I didn't say before, they're showing me those ties on the braids. Now, give me a minute to translate. Oh, they're showing that's like kind of like battle scars, right? So this is what the message is trying to get me is these are all the turmoil that we've been through, past relationships and whatnot. I gotta show this more freely here. And this is kind of like battle scars, right? Like a guy carving on his bedpost. It's the same kind of thing. He's putting it in her hair, right? Wrapping it around. So these are all maybe the relationships, symbols of relationships, or battles that we've had, maybe that we've won, losses, lessons, right? In past relationships. They're showing that. And this one here, talking about the gateways and the opportunities opening up, there's like this lotus or whatever bright flower. There's a symbol of the purity that they expect to come forth. And this one here is ready in case I got a sword here. I'm going to cut away from what I've learned, right? Because she's learned a lot here with all those threads. What I've learned, and I got my faith and all this stuff. So she's highly armed, right? With wisdom from the past relationships and her faith behind her, which I feel for some may have not always been this way, may have gained some faith. And I'm not meaning religion either, but a faith in something greater than just me and the universe, something running the show here other than. So, yeah, there's all of that experience coming forth here to bear. So again, authenticity, I think, is the key for the female here. She's going to be working hard to be authentically who she is and what she's learned thus far. She's going to bring that forward. So clarification on the Gateways card. We get the 8 of Wands now. That's the speed card. It's coming in quick. Can be arrows of love, right? So this is a love reading. So this is where we're headed. So it is talking about things are going to be opening up really quick for these women, these feminines. And again, you could be a masculine carrying a feminine energy at the forefront. So it could apply to you. Yes, it can. So this is quick, fast energy coming in. And because it's on the gateways, it's talking about openings. There's going to be a lot of things coming in. And not only that, opportunities to go in a love direction. Simple as that. Okay, now on top of this faith card, we get is this the king or the knight? I think this is a knight, but there's no, man, I hate when these decks are, I think this is a knight, but nonetheless, no, he's not a knight because he doesn't have a horse. So this is the page of Pentacles. So he's about thinking about skillfully about things, right? Keeping his head with him and starting new journeys outward. Pages can be messengers, right? Bringing information forth here. Now we got a faith card in the background. Just give me a minute. Yeah, because they're really hanging on to wisdom and knowledge here from past relationships is what they're letting me lead this card with. Bringing that forth into solid ground is what they're saying. We've got a lot of lessons we've learned and brought forth here. We're going to solidify that in the relationship quite highly. So the sense here, they're giving me caution to those who may be going back to relationships. We got a different energy field we're dealing with. So we got different energy we're dealing with if we're going back to a partner. And this is the feminine energy has changed highly. So on the authenticity card, what do we get for that? We get the King of Cups. And that's about being authentic of heart. This is what the universe wants them to lead with. This is kind of their challenge, I feel. This is kind of what they're bucking. They're wanting to come forward with their heart and soul and be that king, right? Be that master of emotion. But I feel like this is kind of shaky ground here for the most part. But we are going to get that fish into a cup, and it's going from small to big. So again, emphasis on what we've learned. We're getting more than what we've had in the past is really what I'm gaining here. And not only that, we're going to gain things in the material realm. Like, I'm not talking money here, but they're saying there's going to be action made here in certain ways that are in the 3D for those that might be dealing with some thoughts of things outside of, like, daydreams and whatnot. We're going to be having a lot more stuff is solid on solid firm, terra firma, right? On solid ground. So this is what they're saying. So now we're going to get into the love area and slowly work into the romance and sex parts. So we'll see what happens as we move down. Again, I'm picking up highly on a feminine, on single energy at this time. So either way. First card in the romance area, Queen of Wands. This is my blown away card. This woman usually has this. These cards are very light, so that it washes out the. She's had the night of her life. There's roses on the floor. There's evidence that a male was here, but she's kind of just reminiscing about everything. You know, what a wild night I had. Da da da. So we either may have this coming, maybe in the process of this, or this is something that somebody came and kind of swept us off our feet, is the sense I get from this card. Next card is the Ace of Cups. And that is about self-love, and to a degree where we are ready to go outward. This fountain is overflowing and ready to, dip into another cup here, right? So the cup runneth over. And the dove, too, they're making me see that highly as a symbol of that we may be at peace with ourselves over this time, and we're ready to go outward in a loving way. So this is interesting. Next card is 19. Now, in this deck, and again, I'm not traditional with these cards at all, but this card always denotes distance. Why? Because the couple is like trying to reach each other. So we may have something here we want to give to someone at a distance, or someone that we find hard to get together with on a consistent basis. Can't do this as easily as, like someone at work or whatever, you meet up all the time. So 19 is the Sun card, and it does denote good unite energy, but it can denote distant relationships for me. So there's a symbol that this is something that may be happening. Someone at a distance, right? So we'll clarify on the Queen of Wands there. Did I say swords earlier? Anyway. 15, the Bear. And that's about powering forward. The Bear is about using your energy to just trudge through, right? They're going through all this icy water and they're just trudging through. Can also denote a motherly type energy as well, like Mama Bear energy can come through this. So the sense too is that we may have someone here that had a night of whatever, passion or whatever. I guess we'll see when we get in the love cards, but a night that blew her off her feet. And there's a sense here that it may be a mother energy, like maybe a single mom is what I'm trying to get to. Spit it out. So we may have that kind of an energy. Now on the Ace of Cups, we have the 12, which is the owls in the Lenormand, and that talks about wise words, wisdom, chatter that talks about, well, not chatter, it's wise talk, right? Words that are communicated outward. Now, this is on top of our heart being full. So there's a sense here of wisdom of what we may have learned here, either by ourselves or within a partnership. Now, the one cup is really symbolizing to me that we're working on ourselves. So if we're in a partnership, we're very individual in that, and we're working to advance our own emotional state toward ourselves. And there may be a lot of wisdom wrapped around that. So that may be for some couples, maybe the first time that they're actually doing that in a partnership. And this is all good. And this may be part of that energy powering forward, right? So on the 19, which talks about the distance, but also the sun card, we have 13. Yeah. See, this is confusing because if we have a long distance, and this is what's going to happen, if we have a long distance relationship, you have the 13 that talks about children. So again, we have mama bear and children energy here. So that can fit as well, because it can be a child that you have in your midst that may be affected by this relationship or highly involved to a degree. Now, 13 is also about naivety and daydreams. Okay, so this child is creating this whole scenario with the toys and the castle, creating this out of their mind. But an adult would walk by and they wouldn't see that. That's from the kid's imagination. So we're talking about make believe. Now, we have this on the long distance card. It tells about high expectations that we tend to throw over into the daydream zone, right? So really, it's a lot of different energy here. Now, those birds bring it down to a level that we are learning wisdom here, but maybe we're dreaming about a relationship that is not real, meaning not real in physical kind of way. Now, this is our plan here, and that, interestingly enough, what they were pushing before I even seen these cards was this energy of grounded reality stuff, right? Things coming really quick on an emotional level and grounded. Now, we get into the romance and things are getting up in our head here. So we got to watch. But there's wisdom nonetheless. There's things being spoken here that are of worth. Okay? I'll leave it at that. Now we'll go into the sex. I'm going to clear these away. I think I'll clear these away because I kind of want to know more about these cards. Yeah, I'll bring them back if I need. So to clarify on the 15 there, talking about mama bear energy, powering forward, using our power to trudge through things. We get the Emperor, which is a very powerful card indeed. Now we're getting into the love sex zone. Now this is, okay, I'm going to have to leave these cards up. What was I thinking? Because this was talking about this woman that was blown away. Okay. So how was she blown away? Because she was moving forward for something. Now we have an Emperor here somehow. That energy comes in. Now that is a masculine, can be an Aries, or have the traits of that, which is a very take charge attitude, especially in the bedroom. They like to do what they want to do. And my way, highway, this is him. And when we're talking about love, he can be very protective, but also very, they're wanting me to not overexpose this guy. Now, he can be very protective and loving, but if things go his way, right? If things don't go his way, things can get awry quite quickly. Like there's a bit of a temper here, but we're not looking at, try not to look at the negatives for this guy in the bedroom. But nonetheless, so we're either powering forward with someone like this or had an incident with someone like this. Okay, now on the words of wisdom, we get judgment. Oh man. And this is on the Ace of Cups, okay? So the Ace of Cups is about dealing with your own self-love, self-worth, self-issues, okay? We have judgment. Now in this deck, it talks to me about binding to people. Now if we've got someone coming in quickly, this could be happening. We could have a soulmate or high-level union here coming in with someone who is very much of has a take charge attitude, maybe a fire sign, maybe an Aries, but definitely someone who is in control, takes charge, in control of his life, and maybe even at a job where he has a lot of people underneath him. No pun there, but meaning he has to make decisions as part of his daily routine. Yeah. So on the Judgment card, right, we're talking about wisdom is in the background there with the owls. And the sense they're giving me is interesting because I just had readings in my infinity room, and it was the opposite warning. But the sense they're giving me is we have a partner coming in who may be very good for us. And not only that, a soulmate union. And we need to keep that, take that into account. Now, on top of the 13, which was talking about, again, someone at a distance here, we may be overemphasizing the dream world, is the sense. I don't know if I'm communicating that properly, but the sense is we may have someone at a distance and it blows it out of proportion because we use our mind more than we are in reality, right? We use our mind as to imagine more than we actually are physically with that person. So on top of that, we get the 6 of Wands, and that talks about going out and getting what you want. Now, yeah, that would just really bring the distance to a 0 is the sense I'm getting. So we may be just, they may be just kind of, and again, this will fit whenever it hits you, because I'm putting like no time limit on these. Like I do them every week, but you may go back and click and it may apply, because everybody advances at different rates. So the 6 of Wands is going out and getting. Now, this may be, because you're feminine, it may be someone coming out to you and getting you in that way, grabbing your energy. So it may be, if you're dealing with someone at a distance, for the singles, I feel like they may be coming right close to you and creating a scenario where you can go out and do things. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to expand here. On top of the Emperor, we get the Ace of Swords. That's interesting, because this goes one there. Very unique. The Ace of Swords is about truth, right? Clarity. The kind of almost emulating the wreath of victory. There may be some truths come down the pipe that blow this woman away, is the sense I'm getting. I'm like, what is she getting blown away about? And it could be the man himself. But it could also be some truths that come down the pipe here. But now she's kind of, in this card, I don't see her as being hurt or anything. She's happy and excited about the news. So there's something going on in that way through some take charge dude that comes forth here and tells some truths that might be, coming across in a good way. Now, on top of the Judgment card, which talks about somebody being bound to someone else, right? We got, if our cup is full and we're ready to go outward, this is good. So it seems like, the purpose here is to find a partner, and we may have done this. And again, this is universally driven, and then there's people on the ground, almost like that guy that's tying them is kind of happy and excited too, right? So it seems like all around we may be excited about this union in some kind of way. Now, as I blow that all out of the water, we have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles to clarify. So we got our happy love life, meaning we are in love with ourselves, ready to go outward. And we're going to be joined universally. And there's a Five of Pentacles here, which means that we've been kicked out of the loop here. Somehow we've been left out. So, yeah, they're walking away from that sort of truth. I got good feelings about it, but the sense they're giving me is we're walking away from the truth. So I don't know. We got to move forward here. Now, on the Six of Wands, that's about someone coming towards you and taking, because I feel this is the feminine reading. So I feel like there's a masculine wanting to get a hold of that, right? I don't mean to be vulgar, but I mean, there's a sense here of us dreaming, and it may not be the same person that's hitting us up. Let me just see. Yeah, may not be, because we have someone at a distance here that's highly aspected, and then we're dreaming of whatever we're dreaming about, their castles and toys. But the thing is things that we want in our life. And there's someone here that's now, if we got the Five of Pentacles, that's what's giving me all this shady energy. On top of that, we get the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords is she's the one that she holds the sword and she's, come on, I got a sword, but you come forth. So there's a sense here that we may have some truths here. I don't know if it's this relationship that she's been in or the one that she's going to, because there's a sense here, two directions. So we may have some women here with some choices in the love zone. Because like maybe one, we walked away or got kicked out of a relationship, or felt that we just didn't feel worthy, not because we didn't feel worthy, but we felt they didn't feel worth for us. Does that make sense? How do you say that? They didn't appreciate us for our worth is the thing. So this is the feeling I get here. Okay. So the Ace of Swords, there is some truths come out about a past partner is what I'm getting. And we may have been blown away by this partner, like this was us before, is the sense. But now the truths come out. There's some things that need to be dealt with here. The Five of Pentacles about walking out, feeling left out in the cold, but out of the loop. And then the Queen of Swords, she's the one that says, okay, you can talk, but you come here slowly because I got a sword in a minute. You don't bring your Ace of Swords to me. We're going to have stuff to deal with. Okay, so we're going to move from here. Clarify this Ace of Swords on the sex side. This is where we get into the 18 plus, so I don't know how much I'm going to get from each card here. 8. 8 of Cups. No, here's the truth. This is, what's his name? Casanova, right? Now, the scenario in this is that this guy has just walked in on Casanova and this woman. Now, this guy that's looking on, that's the one he wanted to have. That's the woman he wanted to be with. And Casanova got in there and hit her up before he did. So he was working on him. Like he was telling him all about, the woman, blah, blah, blah. Told him all his, that he was interested in her. And then what do you know? He snatched her up before he had a chance to get in. So this is the 8 of Cups about leaving and going away. So there is a sense here, like the 5 of Pentacles, but the sense I get here, this is because he wasn't quick enough. But the sense I get in the reading energetically is he didn't know her worth, didn't know what she was worth, didn't treasure her. That's what I'm getting, is an overlooking of how valuable this woman was. Didn't see her for her worth, and therefore somebody else come in and, so there's a sense of this. Okay, now on the 5 of Pentacles, feeling out of the loop here. Now, who is this and what's going on? We get the 4. So there it is. Why? Because this man's full of work. Now, for some, this may be... Sorry. For some, this may be a full-on scenario that this man is going to lose a partner due to him being a workaholic or paying more attention to the money than... I mean, she's naked there and he's not paying one iota about her, right? That's not normal, really. Shouldn't be. So the 8 of Cups could be not necessarily another partner here for the male side, but it could be just that the male's paying no attention to the partner and dedicating to work. So those in a couple, maybe that... Oh, can I talk? Sorry, guys. For those in a couple, may symbolize that the work is taking over here, taking precedence over the relationship. There's no priority with the relationship. It's just work. Now, for some, it could be both scenarios. Could be that there's a man here caught up in work, and we have so much so that we have someone looking up somebody else, right? Because it's a scenario here of two men, of a man getting, so yeah, I mean, whatever way it fits there. Somebody's going out of a marriage basically to get canoodling because they're being not looked after on the sex side, period. Now on the Queen of Swords, this is about the energy that needs to be cut away. Okay. We get the 10 of Swords, and that is about no more attraction. So for some females here, we are still on the feminine side. This is a masculine energy, and all his swords are laying down, if you get my drift. So he has no more physical attraction to his partner. He cannot, and he may even have performance issues, no less. One, because the heart may not be in it anymore, or just because he's tired, maybe overworked, if we go PG here, or oversexed and it's just not cutting it anymore, okay? So these are certain areas that it could happen. Now, this is symbolizing the woman. So I felt a need to just play that out through the man role. So the woman here, so we have to replace, this with the woman. She's fed up. She's no longer physically attracted or able to get warmed up, if you will, for her partner. And it may be because of a long line of being put in last place, or because there's someone else that suffices, whatever. There's a sense here that we're no longer feeling one, that we even want to participate physically with that partner, and two, we're tired of not attracted, there's no turn on, there's none. So that's what's going on with the feminine. Yeah. It's pretty heavy on the sex side, but it seems like we've just drained all of our attraction on the physical side, has been drained from either being put at the bottom of the list or being put, nowhere, not getting it, not being worked on, really, is the sense I get. And this is typical. But no less here, the sense too is that we could have some, not all, like a quarter, if that, that there's somebody that either, just give me a minute, I want to get this right. Yeah, there's someone that either, for some, there's either a friend of the partner or someone close to the partner that took over for the husband's duties in a physical way. And that'll have to be dealt with. But you know what? The sense I'm getting for those that it applies, the husband won't even notice. He won't even bother. It may not even matter, is the sense I'm getting. So that's sad, but that's what it is. I got to quit the judgment here. Okay, so that's the feminine. Now I got 2 cards here. I got a love card to help with the compassionate side, and I got a power surrender card to help with any obstacles. So the love card that I got for the female, look to your inner strength. You're stronger than you realize. So there's something here that needs to be dealt with. No, just give me a minute. I felt great strength from her from the beginning, right from this card, but I feel like it's more of a faith within her own self going outward. And then, that whole authenticity thing. So they're saying, look to your inner strength. You're stronger than you realize. So we may not understand. We're powering through things, but may not understand how strong we are, taking a checkpoint to look at that. And the surrender card is surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change something, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. So the sense I'm getting from that is yeah, like if we have a marriage here where there's no passion and we're not attracted, we need to accept that and not be in denial mode, or not be in a mode where we're, and this is, I think, where the authenticity comes in here. It's kind of a gruesome card. But I think that's where the authenticity comes in, is to basically say, you know, this is what it is. So there's a sense of being passive with things, what you can't change, accept, so it can bring you peace, and don't fight. Well, the thing is, to me, like if you're in a passionless marriage, you just don't want to be there. You want to you want to move forward. So there's a sense of needing to accept that in order to do that, right? Or if whatever, if you're not going to change, I don't know. There's a fine line here, because you have to accept what is. I feel I'm just going to leave it at that, because every woman's going to know what it is that she needs to accept about the relationship, whether it's loveless and I need to move forward, or or it's loveless and I need to get a hobby, or whatever. Like, you have to decide what it is that's right for you. And we have the ace there. Where was it? We have the ace, so we're learning, and we're on our way to filling our heart. So is that back to our partner? I don't know. For some, it may not be. For some, it may be finding passions in a different area. But I just don't like the energy of how do you say this energy here? Where'd it go? The one of going behind people's backs. It's just better you just do it above board. Meaning, not go in front of your face, but you discuss it, you talk about it, and say, okay, I'm leaving. This is why, blah blah blah. So I feel like that's kind of enmeshed in this somehow. So surrender to what is. That will help you overcome some obstacles, and your inner strength will help you get through on the love side. So there's, I don't know, can't even say what the scenario is going to be for that. It's kind of all over the place. Okay, for the masculine, sorry, I'm going to move this. Masculine energies. Okay. First card, wisdom. Gaining, learning, coming from. Wisdom is prominent here for the masculines. Next, communication. So communicating from wisdom, this is a good thing. Next card, play. I tell you a story. This is funny because this card fell out. This play card fell out on the floor, like when I was shuffling. And I thought, if you want to come back in, you jump back in, because I'm not picking. I wasn't done shuffling. So it came back in. So that card always denotes mischievousness to me. When we're talking about love, it's talking about a kind of underhandedness, right? He's got that one eye cocked, like, I can't even do it. Like, shh, don't tell nobody. But, so there might be something on the down low here going on. Maybe some communication we're thinking of pulling off here to a feminine, or to people around the feminine. Wisdom is what's driving things here. These are kind of gritty cards, but so it gives me a sense here that we're kind of in the clear, but I'm not going to quote that until I get through the cards. I haven't looked. There's some wisdom coming here, and we're trying to communicate that forth, but there's a sense of mischievousness that's coming through, is what I get here. These males, okay. The wisdom on top of there to clarify, we get the Knight of Cups. So this knight, he is trying to offer his love forward, and that horse bowing down into the water, I feel like there's a lot of compassion and a lot of more than any other deck. I feel like there's a lot, because he's got a lot of jewels on him. He's coming forward with everything he has emotionally. It's what I get. And the guy's bare chested, so he's bearing all, right? Going forward. And this is on the wisdom card, so this is good. This is all good. Good energy so far. On the communication, we're gonna look. We got 19, sorry, the sun. So this is good. This talks about happy tidings, things that are joyous. Children, again, prominent here. Yeah. The child's bare chested too. Like everybody's just being bare. And the sense I'm getting is when they're bare like that, it's like they're being like transparent, or like I'm bearing all, I'm just telling you everything in truth, like in wholesomeness, right? So yeah, sense of celebration too is coming through now on top of the play card. Oh no. There it goes. 7 of Swords. So that blows the whole thing to hell here. It blows the whole reading out, because he's going back towards the sun and screwing things up. So what's going on? No, we're going to go one level, because the 7 of Swords is about sneaky behavior, getting away with things that we know we shouldn't. Yeah, it's all on the down low. So there's something going on here. We're going to uncover it. We're going to find out what the hell it is. So on the page about all these feelings coming forth and this wisdom that he's coming from, what's going on? We get, on the romance side, we get the Strength card, which this is now interesting, because this is a man who's trying to move that statue of the woman, and the woman is standing in her strength. So that's what they're talking about. This man is trying to move the woman out of her strength, and she's standing her ground here. So this is where the fight begins, I guess, or what's going on? This will be interesting. Yeah, he's trying to give loving feelings forward, but for some reason he's trying to move her out of her position. Okay, let's go further here. Now we're talking about communication that's highly aspected. Okay, what's going on there? Ooh, we get the Ace of Swords. So there's some truthful communication here. Now this Ace of Swords is cutting. There's blood here. So it's interesting because the sun shines. Why? Because the truth needs to be told. So there's some stuff here that maybe wasn't so great to hear. Coming down to a partner, okay, is the sense. But it needed to be, it's highly aspected that it came out, but it didn't feel good coming out, is the sense. Now, on this play card, what's going on there? So the play, we have the 6 of Pentacles. So 6 of Pentacles about admiration. Admiring someone and flirting, like flirting, period. So we may be in the okay, give me a minute. Yeah, sense I'm getting is we may be trying to get a partner here to move. I don't feel these are the same energies. I feel like there's a male here trying to get someone to bend on something. Now there's truth that have been told, and it may have a defining factor on her position. Now 6 is about flirting. Now we're going to get into deeper here and see what's going on. Flirting. Is this flirting with her? Flirting with someone else? Is this what's going on? What's going on? So on the Strength card, we get, oh man, it's such back and forth. 24, which is the love. So that is about true love. That is about, we're talking wisdom. And man, I gotta look at the pace here. Yeah, talking wisdom and love and love and love. And we're trying to move someone off love. Like, I don't get it. So as we move to the truth, which is highly, the universe is highly wants you to do this. Sorry, my words are. The universe wanted him to come forth in some truths. So he did. And it was highly aspected that he did. And this is a good thing, though it stung him or her. On top of that, we get 30, which is the lilies, which talks about the purity. So what happened here is there were some truths that needed to be told for this relationship. and they were told, and it brings back the purity of the relationship. I feel like there was I feel like the guy pulling the statue, I feel like that was him lying to her and telling her all these things and then trying to get her to believe that. But the bottom line is that there's love and care here. There's a commitment that, because these two are commitment, like they're those animals, they commit for life. So there's a sense of this in the background, though it may not be spoken. This man might be tugging two ends here, but that was either found out or told or exposed. And now it's almost like, now that that's exposed, the purity of the relationship has come back, right? So this is, it hurt, it stung, but now we know what we're dealing with. Now on this play stuff, because this is all the energy of what's going on, what happened. We get one, the rotter. So that is about life-changing information, but it's usually on the good end. Now, because we have it on these cards that we do, which is these two cards, these two take all the good stuff away from this rider. Now, because I got two bad cards and they cancel out the good information, but the information is going to come no less. And the sense here is that we got maybe more exposure from the partner or energy of this having to do with someone they were like trying to work up, is really the sense, because this man is painting a portrait of this woman, and for the most part it's innocent, but when you have those goofy cards in the background, it kind of denotes that we may have had a partner here that was hitting up on someone else, knowing that they might not get caught, is the sense I'm getting. Now, on top of that, we have the rider. Okay, so that's about life-changing information. We have some heavy-duty cards here. We got 24 with 30. 24 is about love and pure love and deep love. 30 is about purity and emotionality and sexuality. 1 is about messages. So it's all down the line here. I feel like when we get into the sex side, we're going to get into some detail, because that rider is talking about intimate information. There's intimate information coming forth here, and it's going to change the fate of this couple. So whatever way, if the couple that whatever way you see fit, because there may be some people here in a solid relationship that have kind of confessed to some things and maybe had to get over something, going to heal. And there's some that are just going to break at this point, because it feels like there's more news, more messages coming forth as to what's going on here. Now on the 24, which is the true love, talks 5 of Pentacles. Now normally the 5 of Pentacles is not a good card, but in here it denotes the dude trying to be all romantical. He's got the fiddle or the violin out on the veranda there, and it's like probably oceanside, and they're just being all dreamy, right? But it's real. They're out there and being all romantical. So this brings up all the mushy gushy stuff romantically, okay, from the sex side. So it's really kind of the guy's working for it here, is the sense I'm getting. Working for the love to bring it back. And I mean, he may be kissing ass a little bit here. That's the sense. Sorry guys, it's Saturday. So making up, right, with the violin and the romantic music and whatnot. So on top of the 30, which is the flowers, which talks about purity and can also denote sexuality, we have the 10 of Wands. So if we go down this storyline, basically he's romancing her, and what do you know, it works to the degree. The 10 of Wands in this deck, I denote it to mean like we can't even hold back. We just going out in the bush and taking care of things. Her clothes are ripped and whatever. It's kind of like they can't hold off any longer. Got to take care of business. Now it's on the sexuality card, so it just amps up. There's a high passion factor here between this couple. Yeah. You know what? It looks like the same dude. And the same girl. But, she not wearing no dress here. But anyway, on the rider. Now, this is all the shifty energy. What do we get? Oh, okay. Knave of Pentacles. So this is the knave here. This could be going out and drinking and getting loose with things, a little looser than we would when we're sober. Knave of Pentacles. He kind of, and she's got her finger in the. I don't know if it's lit, but they're lit. So it's like kind of taking things over the edge a little bit. Is the sense I get, like going a little further than we normally would without drink. That's pretty much it. That's what I get from there. So a lot of physical stuff going on here. So this guy, whether he's getting it from a partner or a non-partner, there's a lot of good passion going on. Okay, no matter. So on the 5 of Pentacles, we get the page. No, give me a minute here. And that is about the beginning stages of working things out. It's all about gaining knowledge as well. I feel like there's some, I don't know if it's a quarter and a half, but there's some people that this reading applies to. There's a genuineness in a relationship here. And there's a lot of wisdom that they've gained through the mistakes that they've made. And even the making up part, like I feel like, back here, he's working on making up with her to a degree that he learned more skills and how to get underneath her issues, really, is what I'm getting. Like how to warm her back up, because there's a sense here that he had to work at it. So Page of Pentacles, just about the wisdom he gained doing that. Coming forth with the truth, gaining all that wisdom and moving forward. Now, on the 10 of Wands, which is, kind of taking care of business here on the physical side, you get the Moon card, which is not good. Because this is where it could flip to the people that are kind of maybe two-timing here or got more than one direction. Sense I'm getting is they got a hangers on, someone who's a possibility, and then they got someone that they're physically. And that's what I get here. And that's what the Moon card is. Kind of just don't know truly where we're going to end up here. Now, on top of the Knave of Pentacles on the sex side, talking about, indulging in the drink to a degree, they kind of opening up the sex side a little more. We get the Two of Swords. Yeah. So, okay. So here's what's going on. Basically, for those that are, on the fence, let's say that, there's a relationship here, this one, where we may have went out and this, okay, this may be a repeat offender. We may have went out, had a one night stand, and then now we got someone that we're physically, we can do this with. It's okay. And we may be doing this to a degree that we're not sober for it, but nonetheless. So this may be a repeat offender in that way. But what's going on here is we realize we have to make a decision, and we don't know what one we want. One, because we don't know this person enough sober to make a decision about a direction. And the other one, because the sense is here, we may have to work hard for this one. We don't want to work that hard. So we want to go back to the easy road, but we don't know this person enough to make a decision. So that's where we sit, okay? Now we're going one more sex card deep. Now, this hopefully should solve it. Page of Pentacles. It's about the wisdom he gained, right? Because he came forward. He dropped all his he dropped all his what do you call that? Not insecurities, but his problems and his mistakes. He laid them all out. Here they are. Or they were exposed, whatever the case, right? It was there. So he ended up working hard for that. He just doesn't know if he's got it in him to put it through. the rest of his life. This doesn't want to do it. He has no intention of working that hard for a relationship. So he's trying to find something better suited. Like just, I just want to put the feet up on the recliner. I don't want to have to put my feet down. That's the thing I'm getting. And so we just want the sex, but we don't have to work for it. We don't have to, So this is what he's trying to figure out, how he can get that. Now, on the Page of Pentacles, we get 20, which is Judgment. This is so interesting. I'm going to take this out because this is a 5. This is where he was Mr. Romance, right? Now he's on Judgment. Now this is Judgment. He's like, I don't know. Should I take or should I not? This is where he's sitting. He seriously does not know if he wants this physically or not. So that's card number 1. On top of the Moon, which is, again, about mysteries and things, lies. Could be about lies, but could also be about things that are just unrevealed. We have 21. Whoa, these are the ends of the deck here. 21 is about going over and analyzing everything. This guy's Casanovi's, I don't know if you can see it. He's going over every book, every relationship he's had. Going, how did I have to work here? How did this work there? What did I learn there? He's going over everything and deducing what in his past. So he may even jump back to the past quite a bit to find one in the past there to try it out. But for now, he's got one physically in front of him anyway. He's trying to make a decision he can't make. So he's got to go back. He's got to kind of isolate himself a little bit, take himself right out of the mix, and think about what he wants to do from here forward. The sense I'm getting is this man just doesn't want to work for it. But he don't know if this physical partner that he's got, that got it so easy, if he can keep that up, if you get my drift. So on the 2 of Swords, how do we end it off here? We get the 7. So this is about communications, right? And what do you know? This is where he's sitting. Communication. So there's something, either has to have communication with somebody or find out more about one of these partners, or I get a feeling it's about the new one. He's going to try and dig further to get to know the new one better and figure out if there's a back and forth. I'm not getting so much a single scenario here per se. Like, I feel like there's strings, no less. Whatever they're labeling it. I feel like there's one loose string and one close string, physical string, and one that we're considering. And the sense that I get from the 7 of Swords here is that we're just got to communicate a little more. We got to get to know them a little more and figure more things out, because we've analyzed our relationships in the past and we're trying to figure it out, and we can't figure out if we want this or not. So an inability to make a decision really for this week is what I'm getting. So the Love card to help him out for the week. Spiritual connections. This relationship is a spiritual connection that goes beyond this lifetime. So there may be maybe one of the partners that you're with that you have a spiritual connection to, a mental connection, or higher, this kind of thing. So they're making you think of that and taking note of that. That this may be a past life relationship for one, I feel. Yeah. And the Surrender card, intimacy. Surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in, compassionately identify and begin to release patterns that stop you from opening your heart. So that is what you need to overcome, no matter whether you got a spiritual connection or not. There's the fear of intimacy here. And that's what you need to work on. Yeah. Just give me a minute here. They want me to express a little more on the masculine side. Yeah. They're going. Yeah. Okay. They're going, get your ducks in a row before you go communicating with the partners. Because they're going, we want to make damn sure, because they're showing me this card, right? And that's about thinking by ourselves. They're going, very important. He has to isolate himself by himself. Look over the relationships, gain the wisdom that he needs to gain there. And they're going, make that decision before we go out to the partners. Don't communicate with the partners at the same time, trying to find out. They're going, no, we isolate ourselves, and then we go back in when we know what we're looking for. So that's the problem here. This guy didn't know what he's looking for. So he's got to isolate, find out what I want. What do I want for the long run? And then go in. And then you'd be able to say, yeah, stay or no, go, right? Because she's there. She don't know what to do. She's she can feel it energetically, right? So, but your fear of intimacy is what's blocking you from clarity here. There's a fear of that. And somewhere along the road here, there's a spiritual connection you need to be aware of. These are going to help you get through. Just give me a minute. Yeah, and just because there's a spiritual connection, I don't want to confuse you more, but just because there's a spiritual connection, if there's a person there that is not evolving or not pliable, meaning not able to work, doesn't mean that you have to go there. You don't have to go. You can take off in another direction. So you may feel a deep soulmate connection, or like, I know this person, but I don't know this person. You may have that. But if that person is not workable within your parameters, because they're making me highly aware of that, it's almost like we're maybe even being to go away from that spiritual connection. But don't quote me. That kind of sounds goofy, but at the same time, it may be bad timing, right? Why? Because we got intimacy issues. And if you want a relationship to work, you got to deal with that. So hopefully that helps you. For the feminine, again, it was surrender to what is. And you're stronger than you look, or whatever. Look to your inner strength, like you can handle more than what you think. So these are very different readings for the week. It's kind of rushed here. I've been out for a week in frantic energy, but nonetheless coming back here. So hopefully I'll be in a little more better energy for next week. So those are the weekend, whatever you whenever you gain it, it should be there for you for the weekish, but nonetheless. So take care, guys. Thanks for thanks for nothing. And we'll talk to you later. Take care, have fun, and be kind.